Hi there, it's me again, Jack Wallen, and you're going to have to pardon me if I start sweating because I just came from a run and I showered, of course, so I don't stink, but my body is still trying to cool off. So yeah, I'm going to glisten. What can you do, right? So in this little video series that I do, I like to try to help artists be better artists. I like to help humans be better humans. And sometimes the twain shall meet, and sometimes they don't. This is an instance where I think the twain could meet, but most likely this is really for the artistically inclined. And this is something that you won't learn in your writing classes, your acting classes, maybe your directing classes. Probably not your choreography, maybe your choreography classes, but not your painting classes and such and so on. And this is actually a technique that I have used for decades. And I believe, firmly believe, that it is the single most important reason why I am able to write novels as quickly as I do. And not just write as quickly as I can, but write novels that when I submit them to either the beta readers or the publisher or the editors, there aren't significant plot holes, there aren't scene problems. It mostly just boils down to whoopsies on grammar. A lot of whoopsies. That's okay. That's what editors are for, right? Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. And I have actually mentioned this on several occasions in several videos way in the past. And I thought today, especially after I came home from my run, that it was a good time to bring it back up. And I'll tell you why the run has to do with this in just a second. When I'm writing a book, when I'm writing a scene, a chapter, or whatever, I picture it in my head. I picture everything. It plays out like a TV show in my head. Now, the nice thing about this is I always know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, if while I am writing a scene, if I can't picture it, something's wrong with the scene and I have to fix it. And inevitably, when that happens and I go back and I retool or change the scene in whatever fashion I need, all of a sudden it starts to pop into my head. And I believe that because of that, I am able to write not just very quickly, but very efficiently, and I can write scenes that when you read them, you can also picture them in your head. And it helps that I don't veer too far off on too much description, or I don't lack enough description. It's kind of, there's a sweet spot, and you know it, and you know the sweet spot because as soon as you hit that sweet spot, you can picture it. Now, here's the thing. I've been doing this for a very long time. I started acting back in the 80s. Yeah. And I started writing in the early 90s. Now, that's not true. I actually started, my first thing I ever wrote seriously was, I think, 85. I think. So this technique is second nature to me. In fact, I daydream. If I'm awake, more than likely I'm daydreaming. More than likely, if I'm awake, I'm seeing something play out in my head. Doesn't matter what it is, it just happens. And there are days when I can't control it, or I can control it, but I have to will it to not happen. AC just kicked on. one of them. Sorry, you have to put up with the noise. Because if I turn it off, this place gets really hot. So, and here's why I wanted to bring up the running thing. So, and this I think is probably your key into being able to do this, if you can't already. So while I was out running, and I point this out, it happens to me all the time, but it happened quite a bit today. When I'm running, I have my headphones on and I'm listening to music. And I have a running run list that's 1,000 or so songs. And I just put it on random and whatever plays I listen to. And inevitably, when I'm listening to these songs, it's almost like a video for the song plays out in my head. And today, some of the most remarkable videos happened in my head to some wonderful songs. And it struck me today that because I wasn't intentionally doing it. I wasn't going, okay, picture something in your head, let it fit the music, and let's create something. It just happened. And sometimes, like today, it happened for one song, and then it just inevitably happens again and again and again. So if you're writing something and you can't picture it, you can't picture the scene that you're writing, do yourself a favor. Create a playlist of random songs. Songs that you like, songs that you can connect to. And put on some headphones and just go for a walk. And as the music comes on, just get lost in it. And you'll have to intentionally do it at first, but start trying to create, direct, everything, a video in your head for that song. And then when the next song comes on, do the same thing. And make sure that they're not, you picture a video for one song, and then a new song comes on that it's not related to the first song, and then all of a sudden the video you create for the second song is very similar. Don't do that. They have to be different. They have to vary according to song, according to the mood of the song, according to the lyrics of the song, whatever. Just let it happen. And go out for a half an hour walk or whatever and create daydream videos for every song you listen to. And keep doing that. Every walk you go on, keep practicing that. Okay? And then get to the point where you don't have to have the songs to create the videos in your head. This is another technique I use. Most of the times I don't struggle to come up with ideas for books. My muse is very talkative. But every so often, the muse will tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, I have an idea for a book. Let's write it. And the idea is very vague. But for instance, my muse might say, give me a sentence. And that sentence is very appealing. It's very active. There's something about it that just connects with me. And however, that sentence isn't enough to come up with a complete idea for a full book. So what I'll do is I'll ruminate on that sentence. And as I think about it, thoughts will start swirling together, and then all of a sudden, it inspires a nice little movie in my head. And that is when I can all of a sudden flesh out that sentence until I have enough for a book. And that's another example of a technique that you can use, that you can take a sentence or a phrase, a word even, and think about that word, sentence or phrase, let it dwell in your head for a little bit, and then let the movie start to play out based on that word, phrase, or sentence. And it's important that you do this regularly. It's important that you get to the point where you can just, at the drop of a hat, start daydreaming. And as you daydream, you come up with, you see, it's not just fleeting images. It's a movie. It's a video that plays out in your head. Because the more you can do that, the more you can watch the movie of your book play out as or before you write it. And it is a wonderful thing to be writing along, and you don't even realize it's happening. You're writing, and then you go, oh, wait, I just saw that happen. And then you go back and read what you wrote, and you're like, it's fully realized, it's dimensional, it's exciting, it's gripping. And that happened because you pictured it. You were able to picture what you were writing in your head. The relationships between the characters, the action, everything. You could see it. And if you can see it, it's fully realized. And all you have to do, if you can see it up here, all you have to do is transfer it onto paper or the digital page. Because it's already realized up here. And once you've got it up here, it's locked. And now, here's the downside of that I get caught up in a lot. I'll be going about my day, or I'll be sitting with my wife or whatever, and she'll say something to me, and I'm up here caught in a daydream, and I don't hear anything she says. I didn't intend on it. I didn't plan on falling into that daydream. It just happened. And I didn't even realize she was saying something to me. And unless I go, I missed what you said. If I don't do that, then later on, whatever it was she said, probably something she wanted me to do that didn't get done because I was lost in my head. And I am not kidding you when I say that happens all the time. The more you daydream, the more you miss out on. And I know that sounds like it could be really bad. So pick and choose your moments when you can daydream. A lot of times it's great as you're drifting off, you lay down to go to sleep, you might have read a book for a while, whatever you do, whatever your routine is to go to bed, close your eyes and just let the scenes play out. Or when you first wake up. When you first wake up, your mind is really a fertile playground. And that's also, when you first wake up, is also a really good time to memorize things. So when you first wake up, just think of something. Or think about the dream you just had, and then let it play out again in your head. Or if, sometimes your dreams are just kind of scattered thoughts and images or whatever. Put those things together into a narrative in your head while you're laying in bed, just getting ready to go about your day. Let it play out. That's a really great technique and a tool for you to help become more and more creative. And anything you can do to kind of nudge your creativity along is going to pay off. And it may take you months or a year or years to get to the point where you're comfortable doing this, or you can do it like that, or you can do it without thinking. But once you reach that point, you will find that all of your artistic endeavors are considerably easier and the ideas just spring to life. You will find that you never lack for an idea, for a book, for direction, for a painting, for a song, for a television script, for a theatrical script, whatever. You will be shocked at how this heightens your creativity. So give yourself permission to daydream as often as you can. Use music to create those videos in your head. And I promise you, your writing or any artistic endeavor you undertake will improve considerably. That's a tip you will not learn in your writing classes. Anyway, that's all I have today. Thank you so very much for being a part of my life, for taking your time, because I know time is precious. And sometimes I can babble on a little too long. But that's okay, because hopefully I have given you something that you can use. Anyway, please take a moment today to spread a little kindness, because this world could really use it. And while you're at it, I hope you and everyone you love have a wonderful, wonderful day.